Hey there, this is Merritt, and this is Around Italy in 9 Days. So, you might be thinking, why in the world is this poorly drawn YouTube video? Well, glad you asked because I had 3 days to do this, so yeah. And I'm the world's worst tour guide. So yeah, I am no Rick Stevens. Just bear with me because this is going to get interesting. Imagine this scenario. You booked a flight from Atlanta to Venice, and they had an airport named after Marco Polo just outside the city limits of Venice. So, what you're gonna do is you took a train to the city central of Venice, and then there's a big old grand canal going through the city. And there are some places you could go while you're suffering from jet lag, like St. Mark Basilica, Piazza San Marco, Doge Palace. No, it does not involve the dang dog, okay? There's a leader in the palace called Doge, so don't get those confused. The interior of Doge's palace. Beauty. Horses of St. Mark, iconic. Some mosaics on St. Mark's Basilica. Reminds me of something. Yeah, some of it reminds me of Weekends at Bernie's because when they went to the Holy Land to get St. Mark's body, it kind of reminds me of Weekend at Bernie's, Kind of like the Phoenician version of it, so.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Yes! Yes!
And don't forget, the golden Dane of Jesus is bold and brash.
How about this one? I call it bold and brash.
And don't forget about all the other stuff that Venice has to offer. We got the winged lion pillar on the St. Mark's Square, which is kind of reminds me of the Queen Band logo. And the Saint Teodoro on a gator, which is kind of like a statue of Florida man with a gator. And don't forget this thing and this bridge, the iconic bridge called the Academia Bridge, and then there's another one called Rialto Bridge. So yeah, since Venice is a water city, you expect lots of bridges here. So let's decide we had to go to Venice to Florence by train. Florence, it's a beautiful city and with lots of history, and there's too many places for me to list. So I made a little quickie, and there's a lot of interesting history. So the places that it has in Florence is Michelangelo's David, Florence Cathedral, Palazzo Medici, Medici Chapel, Leonardo da Vinci Museum, Orsa Michelè, Donatello's David, and Santa Maria Novella. And yes, it got a whole bunch of other places like the Santa Croce, Uffizi Gallery, Santa Trinita, much more palazzos of wealthy Florentines from back in the day. So, a whole lot of stuff. And the most important thing of Florence is
Ice cream.
whole bunch of ice cream shops or gelaterias. I know I kind of pronounced it very, very wrong. So, sorry about that. And yes, and don't forget that it has the birth of Venus at the Uffizi Gallery. So, yeah, Florence is an interesting city with tons of history, and is also the birthplace of the Italian Renaissance. So, go figure. So now we're going to hop on the train from Florence to Rome. And yes, it's a poorly drawn Colosseum. And no, I am not apologizing for it.
Eenmaal, hoe gaat het? Ja, gaat lekker. Laat me jou.
So we are obviously gonna focus on the Vatican City. So we got St. Peter's Square, Michelangelo's Piazza, St. Peter's Basilica, the Italian Garden outside the Basilica in the Sistine Chapel, and the iconic Sistine Chapel. No, Squidward is not on the thing, and no, is not made by two random Italian dudes named Lotti and Lapo. So don't get your hopes up. So you are done with the Italian trip for 9 days, and it's ready to go back home because you miss Venice, Florence, and Rome so much. But don't forget about where you're coming home to. Yeah, I am ready to experience this again. After all the peaceful trips to Italy, this is what I had to come home to.
Eenmaal, hoe gaat het? Ja, gaat lekker.